Hey everyone. So everything old is new again. So last week I gave you all recommendations about things to check out for the first time, a book, a video game, all that stuff, about things that if you've never seen them before, things you can check out. But there's something else great you can do. You can appreciate what you've checked out in the past and enjoy it in the past. My favorite book that I had to read when I was in high school, sadly I don't have it with me. I've needed this at school so many times, so I took it to school and now it's stuck at school. But normally I'd like to hold it up. But my favorite book in high school was Ordinary People. I had to read it when I was a senior, and it's this book about this kid who is a high school junior, who should be a senior, but he missed a year of high school because he had severe depression issues, he had a loss in his family, and it led him to a suicide attempt where basically it took him out for a full year from school and everything. So this book basically is him getting freshly out of all of this. He's going back to school. He's trying to get back into a normal life. And it's basically a book about sort of his healing, his overcoming his issues and sort of trying to find peace with them. And I loved this book so much in high school because I shared some things in common with the main character. Both the main character and I have lost a sibling. I lost a sibling when I was pretty young. I was about 4 or 5 years old, but I lost one of my older brothers, and that's exactly what happens to him, although he's more like, it happens a little bit before the suicide attempt here, so he's probably like maybe 13 or 14 years old. Then everything happens, yada, yada, yada. I'm not sure how old he is, but when he loses his brother, but older than I was. But anyway, again, I love this book so much, and it was really touching me. I read it several times, both in high school and college. Afterwards, I would just come back to it every few years, and I'd find my copy from high school. And I reread it about 6 or 7 years ago. I'd have been probably 33 at the time. And at that point, my son was born 9 years ago, so I did have a son at the time. And I saw this book on a whole different level. Because there's actually two protagonists. There's actually two protagonists. I'll probably leave that in, but now I can edit it out if I want. But one is Conrad, the kid, but then there's also his father, who is Calvin. And Calvin's trying to kind of work that line between giving his son space, but also knowing that his son is undergoing some major stuff, some major stress. He's trying to get back to a normal life after clearly having some major depression and loss issues in the past. So it's a book that just was really powerful to me. And seeing Calvin's perspective on it was just a whole different look at it, a look that I was just incapable of seeing as a 17-year-old. Like, obviously I read those chapters, but they didn't touch me in the same way that they did then 7 years ago being a father. So sometimes looking back at these things can be really powerful. Another thing that I just saw recently, I actually saw this morning because it was just posted yesterday, but if any of you have seen the John Krasinski stuff that he's posting during our coronacations here, I think it's called Some Good News, SGN. He's doing like this news program, and on the version that he put out yesterday, he actually had some like pretty young fan of the play Hamilton who missed a chance because of all this happening and all the theaters shutting down, missed a chance to go see it. And that's got to be pretty rough for this kid who's looked like she was probably maybe my son's age. So what he was able to do is he was able to get Lin-Manuel Miranda and all the other original cast to come on and basically do a Zoom meeting version of the opening song, also titled Alexander Hamilton. And like, first of all, it was awesome anyway, but when I got to the line, I'm going to read this, so I'm going to be looking over at my monitor. When it gets to the part, see Alex and his mother bedridden, half sitting in their own sick, the descent thick. Alex got better, but his mother went quick. And that line just, it hit me in a different way than it usually does. That's kind of a, it's a storyline, it's a plot line. But sitting at home, knowing that this pestilence of coronavirus is, ravaging people out in the world, it just hit me in a different way and kind of made me see this in a different way. So obviously it's good to read and watch new things. It really is great to revisit old stuff too, though, because even though Hamilton's the same and Ordinary People is the same, they're the same pieces, I'm different. So my interactions with them are different. And this is what anything in the creative realm can do. Lin-Manuel Miranda and Judith Guest, the writer of Ordinary People, they're the real creators in this, in the sense that they put something out into the world. And I don't want to minimize that, but each of us individually recreates those experiences when we read it. And we can create things differently depending on where we're at in life. Me as a 39-year-old father and teacher versus the 17-year-old version of me sitting in my English class reading Ordinary People. Or me 5 years ago when the Hamilton stuff first started was getting really big. I think it's about 5 years ago. I might be wrong on that. Versus now, seeing this stuff during the midst of this pandemic. This time period's taking a lot away from us. And the film festival's obviously on shaky grounds. Plays have been canceled. Obviously, I know that's affected at least one of you out there. A girl who was actually in the very first year of broadcasting was supposed to get married this last weekend, and obviously, with everything going on, they could have had a ceremony, but it would have been 10 of them or less. So they canceled it, and they're pushing it back to the fall. It's taken so much, but it's giving us something, too. It's giving us a chance to reflect. It's giving us a chance to create. I've created more videos, whether they're my Gatsby videos or things like this, or gaming live streams. I've created more in the last 3 weeks for videos than I had created probably in the previous 2 years before that. And that's just something that I think is really cool. So it is giving us time. You just have to find ways to use that time. So whether it's creating something new, whether it's reading or watching new things, or whether it's revisiting the old and seeing how we've changed. I hope you're finding things to do that's meaningful, and I hope you're staying safe out there, and I hope you have a great Holy Week, and the week after that, a good spring break. So I look forward to watching the rest of your vlogs, and I hope you enjoy watching mine. See you later.